of angels, oh come, let us adore him. Oh come, let us adore him. Oh come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Sing, choirs of angels, sing in exaltation. Sing, all ye citizens of heaven above. Glory to God, all glory in the highest. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord.
Triangle Center for Spiritual Living and our Christmas Eve candlelight service. It's so nice to see all of you, and thank you to everyone who brought some hors d'oeuvre or some dessert with you. Everything that I tried was quite delicious, and I heard everybody else raving about it too. So thank you all so very much. I love this service. I would just like to have everybody acknowledge the lovely work of Barbara Kane, who put all this together. She and her daughter Laurel came in and put it all, got it all together today, so that it would beautify this space. So thank you very much, Babs. Absolutely gorgeous. So I just invite everyone to turn within, to begin as we always begin, in a moment of prayer, to invoke not the presence of Spirit, for the presence of Spirit is always present, but to invoke our awareness of it, to bring it to the forefront of our mind, to remember that it is within us and surrounding us, and that we are never alone. That it is that presence that guides us, guards us, supports us, assists us, and eternally loves us. I know that I'm one with this power and presence. I know that it is at the center of my being, that no matter where I am, no matter what the circumstances are, that presence is always there. And just as I know that this is my truth, I know that it is absolutely the truth for each and every person sitting here this evening. For all of our friends and family who couldn't be here, but are here in spirit. And for all sentient beings on the planet. We are all divine emanations of the divine. Ambassadors of its presence, ambassadors of its peace, ambassadors of its joy, ambassadors of its love, ambassadors of its wisdom, its abundance, its freedom, its grace. All things good. That is who we are. That is who we arrived on the planet as. And it is from that place of unity that I bless our time together. This service called Inspired to Shine. A look at the events of this Christmas Eve, metaphysically and spiritually and magically, and really knowing how it didn't just happen 2,000 years ago, but is actually happening right now within us, each and every single one of us. And so I bless everyone that had anything to do with getting this prepared. Ava and Heather in the AV booth. I bless Carol and Babs and Diane for their participation, for their consciousness, for the love they have for this community. And I bless every single person here this evening. Just knowing this night would not be the same if even one person was not here. that we are all here together to create this magnificent event. And so, for all of the blessings, and I include our brilliant musicians, Karen Daly and Cindy Johnson, for their inspiration, for their huge role in in this evening's events. For all of the blessings, I am grateful. We anchor this together simply by saying, and so it is. And so it is. So we're going to do something a little bit different this evening because of the sacredness of the flow of the evening and my wanting it to stay intact. We're going to do our love offering up front. So our conscious giving we will do now so that we don't have to have a break in the service but can completely flow through it. So if the ushers will bring up the baskets. During the season of giving, we feel especially blessed to be able to share from our abundance. And since our words of praise have a great multiplying power, let us take our gifts of love in our hands and bless them with this affirmation, which we will do in a call and response. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Thank you all so very much for your generosity. And Cindy will play a little bit as the offering baskets come around. The Christmas story is a beautiful story, but it's not just about a Jewish boy born in a manger to Joseph and Mary over in each and every single one of us. Christmas represents the birth of our awareness of that Christ presence that has expressed itself as us in form. It is our true spiritual identity. It is therefore as eternal as God. It can't be born and it cannot die. What can be born, however, is our awareness of our true Christ nature. And what can be and is reborn every Christmas is our personal surrender. Allowing more of that Christ consciousness to express itself through and as us. The bottom line is that Christmas metaphysically represents a transformation in consciousness. It is a moment of enlightenment, a growing awareness of our unfolding Christhood, our spiritual awakening. And like Jesus, we can grow in our conscious Christhood by following that same inner compass that he did throughout his life, that he used to find his way home. The Christ is not just about one, one radical guy who roamed the Holy Land. Christ is not the last name of a Galatian woodworker nor a stodgy dogma. Christ isn't a formula for saving ourselves from eternal damnation. The Christ is a sweet, energetic love and law, a gateway through which we can manifest the highest expression of ourselves. Christ is the anointment of wholeness. And Jesus of Nazareth got it. He got it right. And his whole life was showing us the way. Here we believe he is the way. We believe that he shows all of us the way. He tapped into a vibration of energetic love, and it animated his heart. And we are invited to that very same experience. And this evening is a little taste of that.
What child is who's laid to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping, whom angels greet with anthems sweet, while shepherds watch are keeping. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him, Lord, the babe, the Son of Mary. Why lies he in such mean estate, where ox and ass are sleeping? Good Christians, fear for sinners hear, the silent word is pleading. Raise, raise a song on high, the Virgin sings her lullaby. Joy, joy, for Christ is born, the babe, the Son of Mary.
This comes at the darkest time of the year, the setting in which Jesus' birth stories were written. Is it any wonder then that we yearn for that rich language of light, luminous, blazing, glowing, illumination, radiant, sparkling, shining, brilliant? Light is deep within us as the symbol of what is most sacred, of what is most divine, of what is most alive. It is life itself. Jesus was like a candle in a dark world. When we think of Christmas, all thoughts flow toward this birth. Light from light, Jesus demonstrates the universal divine presence. And through that divine presence, we see the of God in everyone. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of life, which is the expression of vitality, wholeness, and creativity as demonstrated by Jesus. His birth and life remind us, show us that we are infused with that same divine presence that he embodied and have the power and the potential to express the eternal activity of God in all things and in all ways.
Represents faith, which we light for Mary.
Mary has a very special place in our hearts because she is the quintessential activity of faith. The angel Gabriel, a divine visitor, knocked on the door of her heart, asking her to do the impossible. This news probably brought some fear and filled her with questions. Yet the moment she stepped forward in faith and into an unknown future, she created a space for herself for infinite possibilities to be born. In each of us, Mary represents the embodiment of divine love. Mary symbolizes the purified soul that has become highly intuitive and sensitive to inspiration from the divine. In the initial stage of our spiritual awakening, like Mary, we are not aware of what is happening. It's different from any experience that we've ever had. We are to be receptacles for the outpouring of spirit. We are to bring the good into visible form. Perfect love, divine love, goes beyond all barriers and seeks only good for self and all of God's creations throughout the universe. Any mind and heart filled with God's love opens only to the eventuality of good flowing forth in every aspect of life. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of faith, the light that calls us to forgive more fully and love more deeply. It calls each of us to be greater than we have ever imagined ourselves to be capable of.
There's a star in the air, there's a song in the sky, there's a mother's sweet prayer and a baby's low cry, and the star rains its fire while the beautiful sing. For the manger of Bethlehem cradles a king. We rejoice in the light and we echo the song that comes down through the night from the heavenly throng. We shout to the lovely evangel they bring as we greet in his cradle our Savior and King.
The lighting of the third candle represents understanding.
which we light for Joseph.
Even as Mary was first troubled by the angel's announcement that she was to bear a son, so too was Joseph. Joseph, being a righteous man and unwilling to expose her to public disgrace, planned to dismiss her quietly. This means that we do not understand the process of the birth of Christ in us in the first stages, and sometimes we are moved to dismiss it. Mary received a revelation from the Lord when the angel appeared to her, but Joseph received his revelation indirectly. The angel appeared to him in a dream. This means that spiritual enlightenment comes more directly through intuition than through the intellect. However, when the intellect is illumined, it is obedient to divine guidance. With an understanding heart, Joseph accepted his role in the amazing circumstances that we celebrate this season. The Gospels report that after the angel choirs had adjourned to heaven and the wise man returned to their far-off lands, it was Joseph who remained as father and guardian of a child whose life would change the world. In quiet ways, by acts of unsung courage, he demonstrated a keen understanding of the dangers and the joys of life, and always acted from the highest principles for the highest good. In the process of becoming a spiritual realization into manifestation, there is involved yet another faculty of the mind. Joseph represents divine wisdom. We receive the idea of the indwelling Christ when the soul, represented by Mary, becomes sensitive to spirit. But this revelation must be protected and sustained by wisdom. Joseph, husband of Mary and father to Jesus, inspires us to view through another's eyes. Joseph's character is strong and quiet, yet he has a desire to know the world in a more profound way, regardless of his challenges. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of understanding, the light that is our ability to stretch and see with new eyes, taking in all that is happening, not just with our senses, but with our hearts and our minds. This spiritual understanding leads us to really knowing the peace that surpasses all human understanding.
The lighting of the fourth candle represents power, which we light for Bethlehem.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of the dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, holy night. Oh, night divine. Truly, he taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chords raise we, let all within us praise his holy name. Christ is Lord. Oh, praise his name forever. His power and glory evermore proclaim. His power and glory evermore proclaim.
Prophets had foretold that the promised one would come from Bethlehem, the place where the powerful King David had been born. Yet the power Bethlehem represents is far greater than the might of armies. Bethlehem means house of bread and signifies divine substance. Substance is the spiritual essence that underlies all manifest form. The soul, or Mary, heavily charged with this divine idea, had to be unified with substance before there could be a manifestation. The divine idea had to be unified with substance. By the words of power he brought, Jesus taught humankind to affirm the power and presence of God in all circumstances. The power of that affirmation will heal the sick, lift the poor out of poverty, and transform the world into a commonwealth of peace. This power is the foundation on which we stand, infusing our words, our thoughts, and our deeds to transform the world. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of power, the light that is the embodiment of the Christ. We leave echoes of perfection when speaking words of truth. The power of our presence in the world is the greatest gift that we can give to humanity.
Lighting of the fifth candle represents love, which we light for the shepherds.
In the Gospel of Luke, the shepherds are tending to their sheep when angels appear. They are doing what they have done for generations, watching over what is precious and necessary for life. The Gospel of Luke says that the birth of the Christ child was announced to them as good news of great joy for all of the people. When they knelt before the manger, their hearts were filled with divine love. They represent the enduring, living light of strength, the power and purity of steadfast perseverance we embody as we navigate life. The shepherds are that voice reminding us that we are not alone. The 23rd Psalm has often been referred to as the shepherd's prayer, and Jesus would come to be known as the Good Shepherd. The shepherds of our mind are those ideas that lead us in paths of righteousness. They guard, guide, and protect us when thoughts of fear and anxiety could consume our energies. They restore our soul to peace and harmony. The shepherds were rough and pragmatic men. They lived in and respected nature. They could be said to represent our common sense. Although the shepherds of our minds are not our highest consciousness, they are quick to acknowledge and joyfully surrender to our highest and best self. They are among the first to know when we have finally come to the joyful realization of who and what we really are. They represent our faith in God. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of strength, the light that carries us through our joy and through our sorrows. The light of strength allows us to watch over what is most precious in our own lives because we know that God is everywhere present.
The lighting of the sixth candle represents wisdom, which we light for the wise men.
In the time of Jesus, the Magi or wise men had wisdom by being in touch with another reality. When they had the vision of Jesus' birth, they chose to act on it at great risk to their own well-being. The Magi represent our capacity to seek guidance and answers and to use that wisdom to create a world that works for all. Many people saw the star, but the Gospel of Matthew says that only the wise men from the east chose to act on that vision. The power of wisdom is the guiding light that gives us the right decision when we trust that inner wisdom. With this candle, we remember the good judgment shown by the wise men and women throughout the ages who have found their way to their own inner Christ. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of wisdom, the light that is the link between our divine nature and our human nature. Wisdom directs us to act as love, compassion, joy, peace, and all divine ideas, bringing the invisible world, the spiritual world, into reality.
The lighting of the seventh candle represents zeal, which we light for the angels.
singing Angels.
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plain, and the mountains in reply, echoing the joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo. Come to Bethlehem and see Christ, whose birth the angels sing. Come adore on bended knee Christ the Lord, the newborn King. Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo. Please be seated.
The angel Gabriel came to Mary to let her know that she will miraculously give birth to a child. Little did she know that he would become a way shower to the world on how to love, how to give, and how to forgive. The word angel means messenger from God. This divine messenger knocking on Mary's heart with a message that seems impossible reminds us that our angels represent the will of our higher selves, leading and calling us to forgive more fully and to love more deeply. Angels are messengers for God, coming to assure us that there is nothing to fear, and that good and only good can be manifested through us. The angel of God is the still small voice of God within that thunders in the silence. The angels of God direct as we tend our flocks, meaning our ideas, our beliefs, our thoughts, and guides us into the discovery of our true Christ self. This mighty realization allows us to drop the wall of separation between us and others and to become one with all humankind. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of will, the light that is our willingness to say yes to that which is calling us to be greater than we have ever been before.
The lighting of the 8th candle represents imagination, which we light for the Star of Bethlehem.
In the Gospel of Matthew, the wise men were guided by the Star of Bethlehem to the newborn baby. It lit the path, allowing them to follow a way to the beginning of a new world. The star symbolizes our ability to imagine and envision a transformed world and follow that vision to express the Christ consciousness within us. The star represents the ability to create new ideas and set them in motion. It is the power to see through the appearances, to see through the circumstances, to see through the veil, to the inner eternal truth of every circumstance. With the eyes of imagination, the Magi found their Christ by following a star. We can use our power of imagination to discover the Christ within everyone. Everyone. The star represents the ability to create new ideas and set them in motion. We light this candle to acknowledge our living light of imagination, the light we use to create and give shape to the sacred, and to form God into whatever the world needs most: compassion, joy, love, courage, and peace.
The lighting of the ninth candle represents strength, which we light for the gift of gold.
The first gift that the Magi gave baby Jesus was gold, which represents the kingly nature of Jesus, his prosperity consciousness, and his ability to perform all necessary tasks. It is appropriate that the color of monetary currency today is often light green, like this candle. We sometimes have colored candles. Spiritual strength is the true gold of existence, the energy of God flowing through us. Gold also symbolizes the gifts of God, which strengthen us during times of difficulty and give us the ability to share our time, our talent, and our treasure with others.
The lighting of the 10th candle represents will, which we light for the gift of frankincense.
Three kings of Orient are bearing gifts, we traverse afar. Field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star. Whoa, star of wonder, star of light, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Glorious now, behold him rise, King and God and sacrifice. Hallelujah, hallelujah, sounds through the earth and skies. Oh, star of wonder, star of light, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light.
Because frankincense was an incense of the temple, it represents the divine nature of Jesus, which is the Christ that dwells within everyone. To allow more and more of our Christ consciousness to express for us takes an act of will. The willingness to name and claim our divine inheritance.
The lighting of the 11th candle represents surrender, which we light for the gift of myrrh.
This candle points to the human nature of Jesus. In biblical times, myrrh was a perfume that was used to prepare bodies for burial. It represents the power to let go and let God, to recognize that we are in good hands when we trust God. Jesus, who was born in a manger and who would die on a cross. Yet his teachings have changed billions of lives for the better. If he was able to let go and let God, so can we. As we celebrate the life of the Christ child this night, we release any thoughts of lack or limitation and turn our lives over to divine guidance. Knowing in every circumstance, the divine is within us. We are within the divine, and all is well.
One hope, one heart, one love, one light, one child, one song, one star, one night. Heaven saw the world in darkness, a world of fear, a world of lies. Heaven gave the gift, the truth of who we are in a baby's eyes. One hope, one heart, one love, one light, one child, one song, one baby born, a gift that came. And on this night we remember that heaven's gift still remains bright and clear and true. The light is here in you. You are one hope, one heart, one love, one light, one child, one song, one star, one night.
Jesus came into this world fully awakened to his divinity, fully aware of the Christ presence expressing in and through him. And tonight we celebrate that time of his arrival on the planet. But the wonder of Christmas is this, that when we look at Jesus, the baby, or when we look at Jesus, the man, we see not only a human being, but we also see the divine nature, that spark of the divine within, that Christ consciousness. We see God in man as man. And that is the miracle of Christmas. That is the true birth that calls for celebration. It is the birth of our awakening to the truth that we are more than just human beings. Although Christmas is not the birth of the Christ who is without beginning or end, it is the birth of our awareness of that Christ presence within us. It is our awakening to the presence of God in us. Not just God in Jesus, but God in us, each and every single one of us, with absolutely no exceptions. God expressing in us, through us, and as us. Now, if you will, I would love for you to close your outer eyes if you're comfortable in doing so. Oh, I'm sorry. We have one more light to do. I apologize.
Light. And we light it for the birth itself.
Most important one. I'm too excited to get to this meditation part. All right, now, if you're willing, please close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths and picture the utter quietness and mysterious hush that surely filled the air that night in Bethlehem long, long ago. All of nature must surely have sensed the heavenly peacefulness and wonder of that sublime and silent night. Feel it here tonight. Feel it within you. Feel it all around you. See it in your mind's eye.
Town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie above thy deep and dreamless sleep. The silent stars go by, yet in thy dark streets shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight.
So long ago to right now and right here, and realize that it is not taking place in some faraway land, but in a place deep in your own heart. Awaken to the presence of the Christ consciousness within.
Silently, the wondrous gift is given, so God imparts to human hearts the blessing of his heaven. No ear may hear his coming, but in this world of sin, where meek souls will receive him still, the dear Christ enters
now time for our candle lighting ritual. Everyone should have a candle underneath. The lighting of our candles represents such a holy moment because it is a recognition of what happens when we remember the light that is within us. And there's a magical moment that happens when the two flames come together for just a brief moment. You're going to employ your gift of imagination this evening. So I invite you to open yourself to that mystical, magical moment when the two flames join for even the briefest of moments. There's an increase of light and you can feel it. It's the hush, the holy hush, when two hearts open with unconditional love and respect for one another and the recognition of the Christ in one another. So as we share this lights, my request is that you not turn your light on until the person sitting next to you turns and offers their lit candle towards yours. Put the two flame parts together and then turn on your candle. I'm going to start right here with Heather and Karen. Will you start your row? When it gets to the end of the row, if the person on the end would turn around and light the candle of the person behind them, and then we'll come back this way, and then that way, and then this way. All right?
Night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin, mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quail at the sign, glory stream from heaven afar. Heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born.
On this most sacred night, I invite you to bring your candle close to your heart for a moment and consider your own personal Christmas prayer, the deepest yearning of your heart. Your prayer for yourself or someone you love, or our community, or a prayer for the world. Know that this prayer of your heart comes from the divine. And then let's add that prayer, the gift of faith. And now, as we know and acknowledge that all things are possible for us and for all of our spiritual brothers and sisters on the planet, and as we give thanks for answered prayer, I invite you to lift your candles high over your head for a moment and send forth a blessing to the world. For indeed, you are the light of the world. Let that light shine from this day forward. So it is. I invite you to stand and join with
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And nature sing, and nature sing, and nature sings. Joy to the Lord, the Savior reigns. Let men employed while field and floods, rock sings and play. The sounding joy, the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy.
As we leave this space this evening, as we just sit and bask in the wonder and the love of this community, to take a pause before we go, to be grateful. To be grateful for the opportunity that we've had to come together this evening, to break bread and to celebrate life, to celebrate our Christ consciousness, to celebrate who and what we truly are. And to know that as we really, really stand firmly grounded in that truth, and that we live and move and have our being from that awareness that we can and will change the world. That we will bring our light, that light of the divine, out to everyone we meet and light their light and change their lives. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is the way that it works. That when we truly recognize, truly embody, and truly live from our own Christ consciousness, that anything and everything is possible. And that we can and will create a world that works for all. And for that, I am so grateful. And so it is. So it is. Thank you all so very much. Thank you to Babs and for this beautiful space. Thank you to Carol and Babs and to Diane for participating. Thank you to Karen and to Cindy. Thank you for Laurel for coming in early to really assist and help. And thank you all for every morsel of food that you brought and for every heart of love that you opened to each other this evening. We are an amazing community, and I'm so proud to be a part of it. Merry Christmas. There's still a lot of food back there, so go ahead and have some of it. Please take your containers home with you. We don't have a kitchen to clean anything. Have a really magnificent day tomorrow.